It's casual, not formal. It's hosted by Rory Pendlin. Oh, with Jonathan and Renee in tow. It's time to start the show. 1, 2, 3, go!
Okay, welcome to It's Casual. I'm Rory Penland. We've got an interesting show for you tonight. Before we get to that, let's pull up on my co-hosts, Renee Jaworski and Jonathan Phipps.
Hello. And I'm not on camera because I haven't had a chance to get, disposed. So I'm indisposed, but I will get disposed. And at
This is
some
your
point I'll come back.
indisposed camera.
And this is what happens when I'm trying to get all the software going and everything's going crazy. And so anyways,
you were the one that pushed for 7 o'clock.
I know.
Okay? I just want to say that.
But the tech gremlins technically went on a vacation. But I want to say, look at my avatar, everybody. Look at this. We have a guest tonight.
Yes.
Mr. Tom Cheshire, the toast of the town, Mr. West End Motel, taking care of business, TCB. And look at what I'm wearing. I am wearing the hashtag I choose awesome hat in this avatar pic. So I'm representing my brother, Tom Cheshire. And so it's actually good I'm indisposed, right?
Mine's out in the car.
Everybody's got one.
I have a cap. I have an I Choose Awesome cap, and it's out in the car. It's the one I wear when I'm out in the car,
Right.
I want people out there to see it.
You want everyone to see that you choose awesome. I just love that campaign. It's so great. That's so beautiful. I love it. All right. We got a lot going on, by the way, in the Tardonverse because, Rory, do you want to talk about you have a premiere? Actually, we have a world premiere coming up.
Coming up on Thursday.
New show. Yeah 6 p.m. Eastern. What is that going to be
General Howitzer's Big Monster Briefing Room. We're going to discuss, if you've seen the ads for it, you've seen the link to the actual movie. You can watch the movie for free on YouTube. It's called The Day of the Triffids. It's the first one. It's going to be the first episode. 1962 film. It's a classic. Plants can walk around by pulling themselves around by the roots. Space plants.
Of course they can.
And they spit poison, and they're just nasty. And, General Howitzer is going to tell you how he would have handled the situation. And, of course, he's going to let the audience tell how they would kill the Triffids. So I'm excited about that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Major Hazard will be there to give us a scientific aspect on it. And it should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's going to be a lot of fun.
The lab coat has come in.
Yes.
So we are ready to go.
We're as per what we talked about in meetings and stuff, we're gonna go shoot for 30 minutes, but hey, you never know. I mean, if we get people talking and we're having a good time, it could go 40, 50 minutes, we've got up to an hour if we need it.
I'm telling people this is Mystery Science Theater goes live.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. And you get to be in the show. If you're in the audience, you get to actually, how many times were you watching Mystery Science Theater and you had something to share and you couldn't do it really, but now it's interactive.
I'm hoping that, we get a lot of hits on YouTube, and I get General Howitzer gets an invite to come to Chicago in July for G-Fest, which is Godzilla Fest. Our friend Alyssa Charpentier got an invite from Japan.
Wow.
She's going to be there. She's going to have a table there.
Oh, my God.
So
this
excited about that.
And we have another world premiere going on. Well, actually, this is next week.
We have three world premieres.
Next week. Yes, and the last of those has a tie-in with our very first guest, Renee.
Oh my gosh! Burn it down! Burn it down! It's crazy.
We're gonna let him talk about that in just a minute. Renee, do we get any videos from our friends, our usuals?
We do, but I first have to say we're not done with world premieres. Tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m., we have Orchid Times. That is Lily Mae and Linda Rose. That is their show. They are both 14 years old, and they have done more in their 14 years than all of us combined. It's amazing. And so they are going to have and then Ranting and Racing comes on.
Yeah.
At 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yes, that is the ballpark time for Ranting and Racing. This is
Ranting
an
and
idea.
Racing.
Yes, this
Tell
is
us about that.
Okay, so what Ranting and Racing is, it'll be sort of a breakdown of the week in motorsports. This is an idea that I've been holding on to, believe it or not, since before the pandemic. So, because Landon Rock, who is the co-host of this show, or will be the co-host of this show, this is something that he and I kind of thought up, early 2020, like around when the racing season was starting. Then we thought, hey, why don't we give this a shot? But we didn't have any idea at the time about, StreamYard or Anchor or anything like that. And so it kind of got put on the shelf for a bit, but we do now have the platform to use it on in StreamYard. We have the place to put it, which is Tarn Media Network, as well as the TMNB team YouTube page. And hopefully the audience will be out there and will be willing to accept us with open arms. So I'm very much looking forward to Wednesday night.
Okay, and what time is that on Wednesday?
It'll be a tape show, so we'll go into tape at 7 p.m., but I'm aiming to have the show out on YouTube by 9 p.m. Wednesday night.
And I'm also doing Art with Rory on Wednesdays at 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to compete with the guys on Wednesday night, so we made it a late show.
No shame in that.
So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on in the Tardon Media universe, the Tardonverse. I'm still not sure where the B team thing came from. It's kind of like the bees on Saturday Night Live. It's like, why?
Yeah,
but anyway,
Renee and I had a long talk about the B team name last night and how I was now. I'm not going to open a can of worms.
We'll just put
that over here.
There's going to be changes, but it's confidential, y'all. So don't worry about it. Nobody. Hey, move along.
Ray, I want to hear you. Ray,
like Jonathan
I want to hear you say
started out as Jonathan, and then he became John Phipps, and now he's just JP, which is very hip.
Renee, I want to hear you say it. JP was right about the B team name. Can you repeat that for me?
No, I'll never say that. Anyways, look, we got to move out.
I thought that was you that did that.
No, we got to move out the way because Tom Cheshire is in the house, y'all. I can't keep talking. Tom Cheshire is here. He's going to take care of business. Here he comes. Yay!
Tom Cheshire. Howdy, sir.
Tom,
how you guys doing?
Viewer.
Doing all right.
Yes.
He knows about all of our friends of the show.
I'm a big fan of It's Casual, and even what I just witnessed from the green room, you guys kind of laughing and joking and almost getting in arguments online. It's great.
Almost getting into arguments.
Yeah. The banter.
Almost my ass.
Oh, here we go.
And I love Rory's interviewing style. He's got. I sent him a note today saying he's a pro. I love watching Rory do what he does.
Renee is getting better at catching me when I'm drinking too.
Oh really?
I'll be.
Oh yeah. There. I always.
She's catching me all the time. She does that. I try to take a drink when I'm off camera, and then she'll go right back to me.
I love it. I love it. Or if you're like wiping your nose, or
I feel like I should do a spit take.
We're always we can't help it. Yeah, like this.
I feel like I should do a spit take. Go. Who does that in real life? I mean, seriously.
I think twice a year it happens to all of us where someone makes us laugh or spit out our drink or food, and that's the good stuff in life.
Yeah, when I was a comic, if I could make somebody have a drink up through their nose, I mean, my night was fulfilled. I mean, I did my job.
I legitimately made a friend of mine I haven't seen in years. I bumped into the other day, and we were chatting, and we were talking about another friend. We're not mentioning names here, but I said, "Oh, is he still married these days? You never know." And he goes, "Oh yeah, he and his wife are still married." And I looked at him. I go, they're one of those couples that you always saw them, and they look like they were brother and sister, like they look exactly the same. And he goes, "Yeah, I never thought about that." And I waited 2 minutes. And I go, come to think of it, I've never seen the two of them in the same room at the same time. And he literally spit out. He literally spit out everything that was in his mouth. And he goes, "I've known him 10 years. I've never seen the two of them in the same room ever."
Got him, buddy. So, Tom, before we get started, you have to tell the story that you told when you came on Under the Influences, when we talked about Tom
I'm
once.
imagining you're talking about me playing in a church.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please
And,
tell the folks that story.
It was unbelievable. This lady that I work with who was so nice, she was a preacher in a Baptist church, and I loved working with her, and we became friends. She was such a nice lady. And then, she started asking me to partake and help her do some things, volunteer work in a church, and I wanted to. I wanted to help. And then she said, hey, this Saturday we're having a praise explosion. Can you perform? And by the way, I can't believe no one's thought about having a band called the Praise Explosion. It was so good. I said, Praise Explosion, I'm in. So myself and my friend Mike Sheena, who I've been playing music with for 25 years, we go to this church, and I'm like, I don't have any Christian songs, any Baptist songs, any songs that I could even do. And so we thought about it. We were like, well, Tom Waits, some of his songs are borderline gospel, so we started doing some Tom Waits songs, and every third or fourth word I'd switch out instead of saying, and then I saw, this man on the corner, I'd say, then I saw the preacher, or then I spoke to God, and I just started every fourth or fifth word. And every other line, I would say, dear God, or Father in heaven, or preacher, whatever. And people were getting into it. And for some reason, there were people serving at carts selling hot dogs in the aisles of this church. And there were people doing backflips, people speaking in tongues. I mean, it really was a legitimate, amazing praise explosion. The band joined in with us, and we've never sounded better in our lives. We were absolutely killing it. The whole crowd's going nuts. And I'm like, that was the best show we've ever played. We get off stage, and well, I haven't seen this woman in 20 years. I could say her name, Kalana. Kalana, what a sweet lady. She comes up to me, and she grabs me by the collar, and she goes, that was wonderful. But you and I both know those songs had absolutely nothing to do with the Lord.
She's about to rough you up. Wasn't that special?
It was amazing. It was great.
See, this is why I want to be Tom Cheshire when I grow up, because only he can get away with that.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, it was all in good fun. We meant well. No one got hurt. She overall wasn't offended. And also she's the one who took the risk. She asked me to do it. She should have said, do you have any songs that would work in the church? But she just said, can you perform? We're looking. She's like, we're looking for talent. And I go, I think I could help you out there. And I'm from New York, so I speak with my hands naturally. So I knew that I'd go over well in the church. I was just singing like this the whole time.
So you're originally from New York, but we all know that you're based in Atlanta.
Yeah, I've lived here several times in my life, and it's definitely been responsible in many ways for. Well, I think the first time I moved here, I was like 22, and we all know that you think you know a lot when you're 22, but we're still kids. So I think between 22 and 30, without knowing it, were probably some of the most important years of my life, where I learned so much from people in Atlanta and became hopefully a decent man, and the man I am now, and the artist that I am, so yes, I learned a lot.
I want to let you know too that I like the haircut. We both got new haircuts.
Thank you so much. Feels good. Yeah. Well,
and, you're looking very David Lynch.
I certainly a hero. Certainly a hero. Love him. Definitely a hero. I was. Again, you bump into people you haven't seen in so long. And someone the other day said something about the hair. And I said, well, it's just the end of the year for 3 months. You grow it out and you look borderline like, a homeless person in a mess. And you let people talk behind your back saying you look horrible. And then you shave, you lose a few pounds, you cut it off, and they go, oh, my goodness, he's halfway decent looking.
He cleans up nice now, doesn't he?
It's not that difficult. You basically you make yourself look bad, you make yourself look good, you come out a winner.
Somebody else here is repeating your line. That those songs have nothing to do with the Lord.
Yeah, those songs. She's like, those songs have nothing to do with the Lord. There was even more stuff that happened, but legitimately there were carts in the aisles with people selling hot dogs, which I've never heard of that be happening in Baptist churches before. Since then I've never heard about that. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Now you've got another gig that keeps you traveling. A really cool gig, actually. You got a cool day job. Yeah. You really do. I mean, from an entertainer's perspective, it's a very cool day job. Let's tell the viewers that don't know what it is, what you do.
Yeah, I've worked with some talented guys, and we built basically TV studios on the road. So
Wow.
even though I'm here right now, just a couple of years ago, I was living on the West Coast in Oregon for half the year. I've lived in San Diego for a year, and depending on the size of the studios as well. I lived in San Diego for almost a year and a half, building a huge studio for NBC there, and
Wow.
that was amazing. And also, I'm not a big fan of long flights, and it was like a 6 hour, 6.5 hour flight. So I actually stayed there most of the time. I hardly flew back to New York, where I had an apartment, or Atlanta, because I didn't, a 2 hour flight's nothing. Like, I've been working in Houston lately, and that's like an hour and 20-minute flight. So that I can do.
For
I can do
travelers,
that 3
that's a
times.
wussy flight. Yeah.
That's like taking the bus somewhere. I could take that flight 3 times a week if I need to. But
There you go.
depending on where you're at, like, when I was on the West Coast, same with Oregon, I just didn't want to be bothered with flying, back to New York or Atlanta for 6 hours. So I wound up staying there for months at a time. I think when I was in Oregon, I only flew back to New York once, and I stayed there, which was about half of the year.
Wow.
Awesome. We've been speaking for 16 minutes now, and you haven't played any music. So, you got anything for us?
Yeah. Life was wondering. Tell me, just tell me where you've been. I've seen better days. There's got to be another way. Show me, please show me just what you've seen, and tell me that don't me. Well, I've seen better days. There's got to be another way. I wrote a song for you. Now tell me you miss me too. I stood there in the mud. She left me with my thoughts. I've seen better days. There's got to be another way. Well, I've seen better days. Got to be another way. Well, I've seen better days. There's got to be a better way. Thank you.
Oh man! And I wasn't drinking.
Oh, neither was I. I've been. You're looking at a guy who's about a couple months sober here too.
Awesome.
Ending the year right, and starting the year right.
Wow!
There you
Feeling
go.
great, yeah.
Nicely done during a pandemic too.
I'll be drinking a Coca-Cola after this.
Oh
There you
man,
go.
I'm so that is so awesome. Tell us a little bit about that song, because I kind of went crazy about it, because you held up the Tardon Media Network shirt when you went live the other day, and I saw it at a moment when I was having I've been in all these business meetings, and it was like shit was kind of hitting the fan, and I saw that, and I did a spit take. I literally started sobbing, and I just freaked the fuck out. Like, you are such a promoter, and you're so loyal to everybody who knows you.
Man.
And it just is so meaningful to me. That song means everything to me.
It means the world to me too. And I consider you guys family, and it's a brotherhood and a sisterhood, and we're all in this together. It's nothing I've recorded. It's something that I've only came up with a few months ago. Those chord progressions reminded me of songs that I loved as a kid by groups like, Tears for Fears and stuff. And there's something, this melancholiness to it. And then the words are so simple. And normally I write words that might be a little bit more difficult, but I was like, no, it needs to be that simple. Right. And we really have seen better days, and there's got to be another way. And it's just one of those things where I want to, I'm such a big fan of, when I walk away and someone makes me think of something, or the next day I wake up and I'm repeating it. And literally, we're fans of stuff, but how cool is it that when we do something that, I was thinking of all of us when I started working on it, and it's something that throughout the day I'm working, or I'm walking, or I'm 20 feet in the air on a ladder hanging, Cat 6 cable, and I shouldn't fall off the ladder, but I'm singing it in my head. So it felt so cool to hang up the TMN T-shirt that I got, and I was like, yes, this is it.
I put it as the banner. I put it as I took a still shot. I took a clip of it, then I put it as the banner, and that song now is a part of my heartbeat. Like, that is actually a part of my consciousness. Wow. It's just like what you're talking about. That is. There's gotta be another merch sale that you do with those words on it or something. I'm just telling you, some powerful shit.
There's been so many things that we've all shared and come up with this past year, and that's one of the ideas where I love being guests, so I can talk and promote this stuff. It's one of the ideas where I'm glad that I'm going to have my own access to have my own show to talk about this stuff.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
By the way,
talk about Burn It Down a little bit.
In the business, that's what we call a segue. That was a segue.
That was a fucking segue. That's right.
What a segue.
Taking care of business. There you go.
Yeah, TCB is in full effect. It's funny. Sometimes you have to walk away from things to things are right in front of you so much in our life, and we don't see it until you're like, wait a minute, let me go eat lunch, or let me go walk around the corner 20 times. And I mean, I've had the initials TC my whole life, and then it wasn't until the end of this year where I was brainstorming on things. I was like, wait a minute, TCB. I'm performing under the name Tom Cheshire Band. I'm in Houston talking with some television executives about some broadcasting, and I'm like, just send me a note and put it under the statement TCB. And he's like, what's that? Taking care of business? Like, oh yeah, but it's also Tom Cheshire business. It's also Tom Cheshire brand, and it's everything you want it to be.
Yeah,
branding. It's all about branding.
Yeah, it is. And we're in TCB Studios. It's Taco Tuesday. How you guys doing?
That's right.
We're glad to be here. And I love it's casual. I love what Rory does. I love what you guys do.
Woo.
And I'm thankful for Renee, John, Olive, and certainly Dennis for this opportunity, because
Dennis, start on, baby. There you go.
We've been flirting with this thing for a minute, and literally we had a meeting a few weeks ago, and I said it's something I could do, and then I hung up and I was like, wait a minute, what am I talking about? Saying I'll do it in 6 months? Let's do it now. John and I talked, and boom,
let's burn it down. Let's burn it down.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, it
light
means
it up and burn it down.
Yes,
but
it means,
you know what Jay-Z said? He said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman." There you go.
Oh wow,
isn't
Tom,
that
cool? I can't believe
that's what Jay-Z said.
Tom, I can't believe this. This is the pinnacle of my life to be able to get to work with you
excited to have
on this project.
And I jumped on it today because John wasn't in the meeting, and I was like, hey. And so I told John, I was like, I'm partnering with you. And Tom said yes, and John said yes. And I'm like, heck yes. Yeah. So I kind of barnacled on, but I'm so
excited, and it's a simple thing. And I think Rory will certainly get this, because let's just say we're a little older than you cats. But like, but it's
thanks for bringing that up, Tom. Appreciate it.
Sorry, Rory. It's just my take on the old school.
There you go.
As he spits his drink,
There
it's
you
just my
go.
take.
That's
Oh,
totally.
what do you mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He
It's just my
did
take on the
Swift
old
thing. There you
school
go.
traditional late night talk show with hopefully like a modern day twist, like I mentioned earlier, there's this guy in New York who was like on PBS Access channels, whatever, when I was a kid, named Joe Franklin, and he wouldn't have someone like Salvador Dali on.
Joe
Like
Franklin, my friends.
he would have like the guy that babysat Salvador Dali's kids or whatever, and that was how he interviewed, whatever. So if my dream guest for this show would be Werner Herzog, who he's one of my heroes.
God, yes.
And then my second favorite guest would be Werner Herzog's dog walker when he's on the road traveling, the guy who pet sits for him, because he probably would have just as much interesting stuff to say about Werner, know. And those are the guests we're going to have. I believe I sent you guys a mission statement, and it's we want to talk with people of all sorts that fascinate me, and see what gets them up in the morning, and what shapes us, and what saves us, and what changes us, and what rearranges us.
And I know that one of the guests.
That was profound. I love.
I know that one of the guests you want to talk to is, I believe he's the PA announcer for the Braves.
Yes, we've talked to him, and he actually reached out to us. So we get we need to basically confirm that. I'm hoping it's going to be in a few weeks. Right. I know who the next first few guests are, but the best thing about this show is we're going to promote it, and it will be there'll be surprises, but also it's simple. It'll start off with me as also the TCB, Tom Cheshire Band. We'll do a little something. We'll do some announcements. Then I'll come on, and then that's when I'll probably signal to John and Renee, hey, please bring my guest on. But the good thing is this list of people, and Rory, you weren't in the first couple of meetings we had. It was between Dennis and Jonathan and Renee and myself. I mean, within 20 minutes, I went up sending them to.
If Dennis Tardon is there, he's like, yeah, don't invite him.
Yeah. But I said to him, I sent them a list of people that I thought I could have, and I didn't even realize how big this list could be. And they're musicians, they're artists of all type. They're entrepreneurs. They're people who've done some wonderful charity work in their life. They're chefs, restaurant owners. And so all of them are talented, interesting people that have some way I've been, they've just intrigued me. Some of them I've been lucky enough to call my friends, so that would be a lot of fun. But then some of them through friends I've met, and we're just going to chat about their journey and say, what made you pick up, these knives and become a chef, or what made you pick up that pen and become a poet or a writer. Yeah, and I couldn't be more thrilled. I think life right now is about grabbing it and just doing it, and no one's going to do it for us. And when I met you guys,
all the success with that.
Thank you
in
so
China,
much.
Right hand over the left hand, they do this. That means they wish you success.
And Tom,
thank you. Well, Rory, you will be a guest at some point. Trust me.
Yes.
Oh, I hope so.
Tom, one thing more. Didn't you say you had like 164 guests on a list?
I basically, I carry napkins. I carry napkins and paper with me wherever I go anyway every day because I'm always writing. But literally, we started talking, and I pulled out 2 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, and I filled all 4 sides of it just with a pen of names.
150 guests. What?
Yes. So I was like, well, I guess if we're doing this every Monday night, once a week, I guess I have the next 3 years planned. But the goal is we shoot for the stars, and we get some people that are interested enough that we do this a few days a week or whatever. I'm excited. This is my thing is let's burn it down and let's go for a ride. And I want everyone to come for the ride. Everyone to come for the ride. Come for the ride with us. Yeah.
Cannot wait, TC.
I want it to be every day. That's what I'm going to be
advocating for every fucking day. It would be amazing if we could have this thing Monday through Friday night. That would be wonderful.
Seriously, that would
awesome.
be
Well, you do have 150 guests, so.
It'd be like the Tonight Show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be Johnny Carson. You could be Johnny Carson.
Like I was saying earlier today, I've been watching old YouTube reruns of talk shows for the past 50 years and just taking notes. And boy, there's been so much talent that we've seen in front of us over the years from Johnny Carson for sure, who was like the godfather of it, to Fallon and Kimmel. I love all of it.
Hell yeah.
That's wild.
as Rory starts intimidating, Rory starts imitating Johnny
I'm
Carson
intimidating you with Carson?
and Marlon Brando as the Godfather.
I'm rather intimidating. Wild.
He's like, stick close to the family. Stick close to the family.
Yes.
Stick close to the family.
I look more like Ed McMahon. I get it.
Dude, no, listen. Hey, Ed McMahon had like the best job ever. He just had to have that big laugh. It was great.
You just had to laugh.
Yeah, we're super stoked. Thank you guys for believing in it, and let's go for this ride. It's going to be wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. We're going to bring our next guest up in a minute. Well, of course, Tom, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the show.
Yeah,
we always let the first guest stay on for the rest of the show if they want. You can comment, ask questions along with us. You're a co-host now.
I'm thrilled. Listen, I'm following my own advice. I'm going to hang out with you guys and go for the ride.
There you go.
Yes, more TC, more TC.
Thank you, guys.
That's right. That's right.
Appreciate you. I'll be watching Ryan. Cheers.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Again, Renee, do we have any videos from our regulars or new people?
Yes, we do. Tom, do you want to stay on screen and ask questions, or do you want to watch from the green room? Which one do you want?
No, I'll watch from the green room. That's fine. Yeah, no worries.
All right. Now, hang out for a second to watch this, though, Tom. 1 second. Watch this.
Okay.
We have.
That's my sad face. I was hoping Tom would stay on.
We have a video here.
Hello. My name is Yuri Grodsky.
Yuri!
I was once a deputy finance minister in Russia. But I came to America to be with beautiful girl, Russian girl who live in America. Her name was Yurina. But alas, when I got here to America, she refused my friendship and my proposal. So I was crushed. I spent many weeks in a hotel, drinking and doing drugs and all kinds of naughty, bad things to try to make myself feel better. But my heart was broken. It was really, truly broken. But then I watched the Tardan media and I saw a new, beautiful woman. Her name is Drita. I hope to meet Drita very soon. She is in California and I am very close to her.
No icing.
So hopefully we will meet.
No icing, baby.
Maybe we can get to know each other better. I hope
and
so.
eat strawberry cake.
Again, this is Yuri Grodsky, formerly of the Soviet.
It's a new love. It's a new love thing. I can't believe it. He found love. I think
she's got to accept your.
She's got to accept his love as well.
She
might tell him, buzz off too.
No,
she's got to accept his friendship on Facebook.
That was brilliant. That was so funny. I love it.
So yeah, well, again, we'll get in contact with Drita and see what she says. And
all right,
he seems like a nice guy.
Well,
he seems awesome.
He seems. I can't stop laughing. I'm so sorry.
I can't get the visual out of my head of him, coking up and drinking in some hotel somewhere.
Bad. I didn't know that he felt that severe. I didn't know it was that severe.
Drugs,
this was a deputy finance minister in Russia for Putin.
Maybe that's why he was under the pressure, though. I mean, we don't know what all the pressure is about. I feel like there was more than one thing going on with this guy. But anyways, let's bring up Ryan. Ryan's an impressionist. He's a stand-up comic. He's a narrator. Do you want to say anything else about him, Rory?
Ryan Kailbourne, I met him on Clubhouse. That's where a lot of the impressionists hang out. So, yeah. And there's Sylvia. Hey there. So, yeah, he does voices on Impersonation Nation. And he also is on Impression Idol, and he's got other things going on, which we'll ask him about in Clubhouse, and some other things that he's doing right now. And of course, I want him to do some voices. Let's bring him on up.
Okay, here comes Ryan, and then bye, Tom Cheshire. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Love you, Tom.
All right.
What's up,
Just
kids?
boot him out.
Boo.
Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm awesome. Good to see you at last. We've never met face to face or Zoom to Zoom or whatever you have. We just heard each other's voices.
Here we are. Sorry, I'm not thinner. The camera adds 150
well,
pounds.
and look at me. So
well,
don't worry about
it. I have less face insecurity than I did before I saw yours. Yes, you're right. But my beard is a sweatpants for my face. See, that works very well.
I should grow a beard.
Absolutely. I
That's
am
what
like
should do.
I am
my
like
beard would
your
be gray.
I am like your Russian friend. I think he's very funny. I was like,
we have a very interesting group of people that come in and watch the show, and they send us videos and stuff all the time. So
that's amazing.
If
my buddy Aaron saw that,
you'll meet them all.
Aaron would be like, "Hey Ryan, man, I think I heard a Russian guy in there, dude. Like, hey, you got a gun? Like, we should go shoot. Do you want to shoot, Ryan? Because you got mace, I got this pepper spray, man. It'll knock you out in like 2.5 seconds."
That sounds like something that would be on King of the Hill.
Dad, can I get pepper spray for my bike?
Bobby, you don't need pepper spray, all right? Especially on your bicycle.
But Dad, there's some big kids out there.
Maybe a machine gun.
Well, I don't want to get it on Ladybird. That's awesome.
That's just one of the universes that you do voices for. There are many. South Park, you're into South Park. You do a lot of the South Park voices.
Do a little of that, sure. Cartman's fun. Oh my God, son of a bitch, on my cheesy poos, and then okay, boys and girls, okay,
Mr. Mackey.
Don't want to do that, me, Mr. Mackey, okay. And
when you do him on Clubhouse, the host of the shows. Oh my God!
Philip, Dr. Philip.
I can't believe I just blanked on Philip Wilburn. He's one of my closest friends over there. Wow, that was worse than a spit take. We'll edit that. He always mistakes it for Mr. Garrison.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's Mr. Mackey, but it's okay.
It's Mr. Mackey. Yeah, okay. Mr. Garrison's the one that has Mr. Hat.
Right.
I'm gonna pull out Mr. Hat.
Shut up, Eric. Shut up, Kai. It's so funny. One thing that's funny about my impressions, especially like you find a lot of people that do voices, and some of them are like super like fanatical about all the shows and stuff. And I'm just not. I learned how to do a lot of the voices, but like I don't know what episode 7 of season 6 is. I'm not that nerdy about it.
I know who you're talking about.
Teresa.
The people that
Teresa and Mike, Teresa's
do the not Homer Simpson, the Simpsons rooms. Yeah, they expect you to know all the stuff about the Simpsons. If you get something wrong, they're real tight on you. And you do a great Homer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Ooh, donuts. But yeah, sometimes I have to like go do research. So like, oh, do this scene. I'm like, well, I don't know how he said it because I don't know what you're talking about. And so much like it's so funny because like I stopped listening to music in like 2000, 2002 maybe. So popular culture, I don't know. I listen to what I like and I listen to comedy, and that's about it. So
yeah, I think they got you. You do Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, and they actually said something to the effect that his wife died or something. You didn't know that.
Yeah. I had to go look it up. Like, how did she die?
They burned you on that.
Yeah, now I know. Yeah, she got shot by a T-shirt gun at the baseball game. Homer did it. Well, I can't remember. He distracted her or something. Hey, diddly doodly. He's so fun. That's my childhood. See, that's a big part why. My dad was Ned Flanders, basically. Actually, my stepmom was Ned Flanders. Or Maud, I guess, technically. So, like, they're like, you can't watch that. And I was like, okay, well, all my friends do. I guess I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, you were saying that before the show, that they sheltered you from some TV like The Simpsons and probably The Family Guy. The Family Guy is even much worse than The Simpsons.
I showed him a movie I was planning on maybe making with a friend of mine named David Axe, and it was called Beowulf. And it was this spoof, and the language was a little rough, and I forgot who my parents were. And I was showing them like the trailer for like the, hey, let's do this. And they're like,
oh, that's nice, honey.
Oh, yeah? You're going to do that? You think that's a good idea, hon? What about Jesus? I'm like, oh, right. Forgot. Sorry.
What about Jesus? What would Jesus say?
Well, I think Jesus would say that cursing is a classist issue and not salvation, Mom, Dad. Stop being so legalistic. Thank you.
Again, tell them watch Family Guy.
Oh, yeah.
I am not in the mood tonight.
Oh, my God. Shut up, Lois, and get in the bedroom. I don't want to hear it. Meg, go to your room. Mommy and Daddy are going to go talk for a while. That's actually what we tell my kids. I'm like, Mommy and Daddy have to talk. And my son's like, man, you guys had a really long conversation. Like, shut up.
Well, I used to be the cartoon comic. That was my thing, and so I love
your
cartoons.
cartoon voices.
And I love your John C. Reilly as Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great. I like it when Bugs comes in. I think that's really cool because like I can kind of do it, but when you're around, I get like a little nervous because I don't have like a golden hammer,
Well, when you do Wreck-It Ralph, I get to come in as King Candy.
I
always love that because any chance to do Ed Wynn, which is basically the voice of King Candy.
You're such a bad guy. Like Ed Wynn's pretty cool, but like you were mean to Vanellope. You're actually Turbo. Like spoiler alert, but I think the movie's like 10 years old. So
oh my God, you spoiled the movie for everybody.
Movies will rattle your teeth, King Candy. You know the deal. Old Ham Hands himself ruining a movie again.
Did they make a sequel to that?
Yeah. It's called Ralph Breaks the Internet. And actually, my son,
God, I've never seen it.
It's really good. And Ralph, my kid, like, there's this Ralph monster near the end that's like made up of all like the gigabytes or bits or whatever. And it scares my son. My son's like 7, and he's like, I don't like that, Dad. I don't like that at all. Like, okay.
At 7, you get scared easy. At 7 and 8, you do.
Well, he's this tender little guy. Like my middle child is like she could probably like take a punch. She'd be like, "What's up? Is that what you got?" But man, he's just like, ah. And then my little is just brilliant. She manipulates Dad to no end. She'll be like, "Dad, can I have cracker? I have cracker, Dad?" I'm like, "You mean yeah? You can. Okay. Well, hey, like, or if she sees me mad, she'll look at me and be like, Daddy, or I'll be like, what are you doing on bed? She's like, I just wanted to tell you how much I loved you. Give you a kiss. I'm like, that's not what you were doing, but kudos to you.
That kid is smart. She's working it, man.
Yeah, she's going to fight crime or be a corrupt dictator. I'm not sure which one, but I'm pulling for both because I think they work together pretty well.
Now, you do some obscure impressions. I'm not going to say obscure because everybody knows them, but they're impressions that not a lot of other people do on Clubhouse, like Mitch Hedberg, the comedian.
Oh, I love Mitch. Yeah,
who sadly passed away.
Yeah.
But I love your impression of him.
Yeah. So, like one of my favorite ones to start with. I don't have a girlfriend. I just know a girl who'd be really mad to hear me say that. Alcoholism is a disease, but it's the only one you get yelled at for having. Otto, you're an alcoholic. Otto, you have lupus. One of those doesn't sound right. He's so funny. You can say almost anything in Mitch, and it's funny. Like, I love what he's talking about. He's like, my neighbors will knock on my wall because I know they don't like that I'm noisy. But I like to mess with them, so I just say, go around. I'm not sure what's on that side, but there's nothing here.
You do Ron Swanson?
Yeah. So Ron Swanson, his pyramid of greatness. Capitalism is the thing that teaches what God uses to teach people who's smart and who is poor. I like to go off on little rants as him. I mean, as long as you're talking about I like to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. and I love the smell of a fresh spring day. I like to go into my workshop and hear the hum of the incandescent lights. And I'll pour myself a nice tall black coffee with a spoonful of almond butter and just sit and relax for a while, knowing that I'm the one that woke up first to tackle this day. And I'll whittle this lovely, the canoe that's on the show is actually his canoe that he's been working on for a long time. But Lagavulin, all that stuff, talking about those. He was super flattered when they approached him about doing Lagavulin. He's like, it's like they told me that they had a brand of hammer and they wanted to name it after me. It was better than, hey, we want to use your cheekbones to use American Express. He's like, but I was flattered when they said Scotch. Okay, that's perfect. But
now, and again, you have a professional microphone there. I mean, you've got the setup. You've got the real deal here, and that's about. Let's ask you about Viking Voices.
Yeah, so VikingVoiceover.com. My buddy Anthony, because I'm the worst at marketing myself of all time, so he's great. Like he finds out all the things I did. He's like, why did you not tell me about this? I'm like, what? I did a commercial with these people, and I did that, and I performed in this, and I don't know. It's just what I do. And he's like, you have to tell people things, or the universe doesn't know.
I know.
And so it's there. Actually, yeah. I actually Audible. I did some stuff on ACX, like their creation program, where it's it's hard to get in and get paid. But I actually got something direct because a friend of mine's an author, and she recommended me, and I did something with them, and they actually reached out to me just like yesterday and said, hey, we want to use you on something else. And that's great because that way it's like direct payment from Audible. I actually narrate under a pseudonym, which is Niles Dunhill, because I do a lot. I read in like English and Irish like dialects.
Okay.
So yeah, love voices.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
The one that slays me the most on Clubhouse that you do is you do comedian Jim Gaffigan.
Oh yeah.
And do him so well, it's spooky.
Well, the first time I heard about Jim Gaffigan, somebody was like, you look a lot like Jim Gaffigan. I was like, who's Jim Gaffigan? They're like, you're doing him right now. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm doing me. They're like, well, that's how he sounds. I'm like, I don't think he does. This is how I sound. And she's like, that's what he does. I'm like, well, that's crappy because he's already doing it and I'm me. Well, what am I going to do now? Everybody's going to be like, you copy him. I'm like, I do not. I just want a Hot Pocket. That'll make me feel better. Hot Pocket. That's the sound of me rubbing SPF 45 on my cabeza. That's how you get the ladies. Did you say meow? It sounds like you're saying meow right now. Chip, chop, chip. Yeah. I mean, it's like that. Him and like Swanson, you just throw a little air in your voice, and I'm like, okay, that's him. It's fun because sometimes you'll just stumble across them. Like one day, I realized so much of Family Guy was in my register. I was like, oh my God, I could just talk like this. Oh, Peter,
just change your accent.
Yeah, just do it a little different. Do like John Wayne voice, and you can sound like Warbird. That's all he's doing, actually.
Yeah.
Was it? Do you remember? Were you there when do you remember he was on Impersonation Nation with?
That was a long time ago. Yeah, I was there.
But Mike had him on, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's doing a voice. That's not his voice. I didn't even realize it. I was like, that's so cool."
Everybody was doing Warbird that night.
Yeah, everybody thinks Buddy talks like Buddy all the time, but he's really just a guy like, hey, you didn't think I talked like that, did you? I'm like, no, of course not. Dang it.
Who are some of your most requested impressions?
Mitch is. I think everybody loves Mitch. Like I've been in rooms before where I'll just sit there reading quotes of Mitch. They're like, just do more Mitch. We just had so many clever things. Like I'm sick of following my dreams, man. I'm just gonna ask where they're going and hook up with them later. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. Wearing a turtleneck's like being strangled by a really weak guy all day long.
So good.
Yeah, he's so funny. Such a clever dude. So yeah, Mitch is big. Family Guy people love, and it's probably the most easily recognizable. And I feel like a lot of people do Peter Griffin, but maybe not quite there. I don't know. So it's nice to oh yeah, I know who that is. Oh, perfect. So I'm an insult comic at the Renaissance Festival. I'm actually flying out to Phoenix Friday to do that. Wow. And I'll be there the weekend. And I'm like, yeah, who wants to throw tomatoes at Peter Griffin? And they're like, people like if a stand-up show's not going great, I'm just like, oh, you guys like voices? And like everybody at the bar is like, what? Oh. So that's a head
at the
turner.
Renaissance Fair, no less.
Yeah.
So I forgot to ask you, where are you flying out from? Where is your headquarters?
Oh, so I am in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
I am originally from Western New York, thus the Bills stuff back there.
Yeah.
God rest them after that very difficult loss to
another New Yorker down in the South.
To the Chefs. Yeah, we're both carpetbaggers on here. Yes, sir. Yes, we are. Well, I've been down here since '96, and then I kind of moved around here locally, so I know my area really well. And
Charlotte's nice. There's a lot of action there too. I do a lot of movies and TV and stuff around that area.
Yeah. No, I've done a little bit of it. It's funny. I stunted my growth. The first thing I ever auditioned for, I got, and it was a commercial with Steve Smith and Cam Newton, football players. And I was just like, oh, this is easy. And then I was like, after that, I was like, oh man, I like turned down a couple auditions. Like, you turned down auditions? I'm like, well, I just started my corporate job. I don't know. I was like 30, 32. Now I'm an old man. Everything hurts.
And I know from our meetings that you are a family guy yourself.
Yes.
You're a father and a husband foremost.
Yes,
first.
sir. Yes, sir. I have Will and Grace. Will is Will and Grace. Yes, that's a thing. They're
Seriously?
family names. It's a real thing. Well, it's really fun when I'm in a store. I'm like, Will and Grace. And then people are like, they look at me like, really? And I'm like, funny, right? I'm like, but it was I don't explain it. I'm like, who cares? But I didn't name your youngest daughter Karen because I was too hot for Karen. It would have been weird. Because, Megan Mullally, she's smoking. So I was, there's too many.
You named her Karen? Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic hit, and it was like that name became uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm not going to name my daughter Tammy either, if you're going to ask, because that's a mistake. So, but yeah, three kids, 2 dogs, and a wife. I say that all the time. If I'm doing stand-up, I'm like, this is why I'm here. I'm just avoiding them at all costs. It's nice to see everyone.
Don't.
I'll be like, I have three kids, 2 dogs, and a wife.
Where's my water? I need to do a spit take.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they all clap, and then I go, yeah, I abandoned them, and they're like, I'm like, well, you're not gonna clap for that? What about independence? This goes away. I like
That's
to lose
gonna be the name
crowd.
of the show, the Spit Take Show.
Right. Spitaki. Like, what's Spitaki? I'm like, well, it's a new form of mushroom, and it happens when other people are drinking and talking. So, yeah.
Oh, ouch. So, who are some of your favorite people to collaborate with?
So a buddy, I actually made a puppet show, that's on YouTube that, again, not well promoted, very well done. My buddy Brett Osborne is an amazing individual. He's one of the ones that has always kind of pushed me, like, you should go do this. And,
it's funny, that name sounds familiar to me too. I was going to say.
Yeah, well, he does architectural and aerial photography. He's very talented. His photos are amazing. Clear sky images, beautiful. And
does he do drone photography?
He does. He's got a guy that does that. He actually flies airplanes over sites, and he takes he'll put the plane on autopilot and take pictures out the window. And it's funny because he doesn't like flying, so he gets sick sometimes while he's doing it. But he's done very well. I mean, he does a lot of interiors. He's also helped me sell my houses, so he'll take pictures and. It's very amazing what he does. I'm just like, I don't know how you made my house look that great, but it sold real quick. Thank you. But anyway, so we made a show called Flip and Durf. So Flip and Fred backwards, Flip and Durf. And it's super cute. And what I didn't realize about it when I was doing it is I just picked a voice in my register, like, hi, I'm Durf. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Homer. And Flip is Brett. It's Brett's high-pitched voice. And he's like, hey, Durf, you want to go play today? It's higher than Flanders, but it's funny because it's kind of Flanders and Homer. But we made all these videos what's red? Ooh, a fire engine is red. Ooh, look at that apple. Do we have an apple? And it's rolling across the screen. You're counting and songs and singing and, a lot of kids type content because, we watch Ryan's toy reviews well, if that 4-year-old can do it, I got this. And then we're like, oh, I guess it helps to be a 4-year-old that makes opens a bunch of new toys and whatever,
I hope Matt Groening doesn't send you a cease and desist order.
I think we'll be okay. I think
probably okay.
Yeah,
probably okay.
Yeah, I think his 33-year career is gonna be okay.
So what else is coming up for Ryan Kailbourne?
Well, who knows, man? I've been getting out and doing more stand-up, which that I really enjoy. Voiceover stuff. Hopefully getting some more opportunities in that. I've been putting myself out there a bit more, and as I do more and more things related, I'm able to get some more contacts, so that helps. And hopefully see where it goes. Obviously, working the 9 to 5 now, trying to pay the bills because unfortunately the kids can't live on free alcohol. As cool as that would be,
you're getting free alcohol.
I got a 5th of Jack. You guys each get 1/5. Come here. Well, everybody
How are you
sleeps
getting free
okay.
alcohol?
Right. No. Well, when you do stand up, a lot of the times it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
You obviously don't play the clubs that I do.
Yeah.
So
You
there's free drinks, right, for the comics? Oh no.
That'll be Jack Daniels. Oh, that's $12.50. Thank you. Don't forget to tip. I'm like, I drove an hour to get here. What is this about?
That's it. And no hotel room, right?
No. I got to work up to that, Scott Henry level, or the Kiwis of the world are out there on the ships and doing big clubs, and I've hosted a lot. I actually did some corporate gig really early on.
Oh, good.
And that paid great. I was like, what, 15 minutes? Thanks for $500. Are you serious? I got to go to Myrtle Beach.
And cruise ships, man.
Oh, dude.
You make the awesome money in the corporate gigs and the cruise ships.
Yeah. I was like, hey, honey, I can go work this festival for the next 8 weeks. She's like, oh, yeah? Yeah, I'm going to be home alone 8 weeks. Really? You're going to do that? You think you're going to do that? You're going to do that? Like, you look so pretty. She's like, yeah.
First and foremost, a family guy.
Yeah. Lucky I'm a family guy. Oh, no, Peter, you are not going to Arizona for 2 months.
I'll go. Giggity.
All right. Peter, don't worry. I'll take care of your family. Hey, don't tip over my chair. Why are you doing that? Hey, Peter, get back here. Peter.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to come on and share some of your voices with us. We were so happy to have you on. And Tom was great. Is Tom still here?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate you guys having me and
thank
being
you
a part.
guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
you
Tom.
So much for coming on.
Thanks for the music.
Nice to meet you, Ryan. Nice to meet you, Ryan. I've been checking your stuff out. It's awesome.
Thank you, dude.
Bill, Tardown Media will probably be contacting you soon to start your own show.
It's gonna be perfect.
This is a thing.
We have a lot of shows. We're a network. We have a lot of shows, people.
Pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance.
Pump up the volumes.
Hey, I got
Nice.
it. Wait, I got a good name because Dennis Tardon wanted to have a show called Under the Covers with Jonathan Phipps, and it was going to be talking about musicians who like cover songs or whatever. But look, Tom Cheshire is like in bed. It could be Under the Covers with Tom Cheshire.
He can actually do it from his bed.
I literally am laying down with a cat next to me and about to eat a taco and loving all of this.
I have that calendar that Tom's on right now.
The man can be a guest on a show, lying down with a cat and having a taco.
And having a taco in bed.
That's November 21 of the November 21 of the Salt and Pepper calendar that Tom's on right now. I love that edition.
Is eating a taco and a cat?
We could do every other month, Ryan. I do 6 months. You do 6 months. I'm down.
Hey, I've always wanted to make a Fat Guy Mermaids calendar. And
my
if
God.
you guys want to sponsor it, I look great in sequins.
Listen, merman.
I think I got the black lung pop.
That's right. Merman.
Okay, everybody, we got to get out of here. Please subscribe to our YouTube, Tardon Media on YouTube, and TMNB Team on YouTube. And tune in tomorrow for 2 global premieres starting at 7 p.m. Orchid Times, and then 9 p.m. Ranting and Racing with Jonathan Phipps right here. Tom Cheshire. Ryan Kailbourne. Did I say that right?
Kailbourne. VikingVoiceover.com.
There you go. And of course, your host, Rory Penland. Let's get out of here.